What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at two anticipated figures of mine. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new Spawn's Universe line of figures, Spawn with the throne and Overtkill by McFarlane Toys. Who else would it be by, right? It's Spawn. That's Todd's baby. Now, this looks awesome. I do have problems with each of them, but I know how to fix those problems. And while I'm going to address them, it really doesn't affect how I feel about these figures, or I don't think it will. I haven't opened them yet. I'm taking a look at the beautiful packaging here. Look at this beautiful artwork of Overtkill. I know he wasn't always like this zombie type character, so let me know what you got, what version of Overtkill you guys would like. I think at this point, if I'm not mistaken, he's more of like an anti-hero. Let me know if that's true or not, but my whole review station's getting messed up. But let me know how true that is. There's the barcode if you're looking for it. I actually found mine at GameStop, so go check your GameStops. He's showing up there. And then I got the Throne Spawn at a comic book store. If that just glitched out, I don't know what my camera's doing, but I'm sorry about that. But here's the barcode for that. And then I got this one at a comic book store. It was definitely overpriced, but I saw it and I was like, whatever. I think he had it for like 55, so it's like 15 more than what it's supposed to be. Don't go do that unless you're a crazy psychopath like me, which probably if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you are, but this looks awesome. I am going to be doing some customizing work. Now, look at the back of that. I'm definitely going to cut this out, like this art out, because that is too fucking cool. Greg Capullo and Todd McFarlane. But yeah, these, and the packaging on the side here looks awesome too. But yeah, so without further ado, I want to open these big mamma jammas up and throw these boxes away. So let's go ahead and do just that. So getting these two out of the package, I gotta say, I'm very torn. The Spawn itself is really, really good. And I'll talk about him a little bit more because I have a bunch of plans for him. But Overtkill, he's pretty shitty, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is with these Megafigs for the Spawn line, because the Megafigs for the DC Multiverse line have been very good. The Joker was very good, the Clayface was very good, Man-Bat and Killer Croc look very promising, but Cygor was a super big disappointment, in my opinion. I'll admit Violator was really good, but like, the last Cygor was bad, and this is not very good, in my opinion. I'll explain why, but this Spawn, I got a lot of plans for him, so we're going to do him second. I'm going to start with Overtkill. As far as accessories, I'm just going to get it out of the way. You get this stand, which really does nothing for the figure. So, Spawn's going to come with one of these two, which is really fucking stupid, considering the whole appeal of this is the chair, which we'll take a closer look at in a second, but whatever, I digress. So taking a look at the head sculpt, the head sculpt is not something I have a problem with. The head sculpt looks really, really nice. I think it's very detailed. I like the choice of color that they used for the teeth. I'm in the middle of Walking Dead, so this is very like Walking Dead-ish. At least in my opinion it is. I think it looks like that. Again, if my camera keeps cutting out, I don't know what's going on. It's doing it on all platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. So please bear with me on that. It's really weird. But the cybernetics all look really, really good. I'm not super immersed on the character. I know, you know, he was originally a villain and now he's kind of like on like a team of like anti-heroes. And this is like not his original design, but the head sculpt does look really good. Now, that's kind of where the good things lie off. I do like the way that the Under Armour for the sculpt is incredible. Like the arm looks great, and I think the paint is done very well with that gunmetal gray with the black wash over it. But then, and that's the same for this arm. The legs look really good. But then you get this armor plating of this really weird teal color, and I don't like it. I really don't. I think it needs more paint apps for sure, especially at a $50 price point. Definitely more paint apps and a wash at least. Like, there's a little bit of like a silver dry brush over it, but it's so similar in color that it really doesn't do anything. Same with the shoulder pad over here. The sculpt is there. I just think like detail work in the paint would put this thing over the edge. There's a little bit of paint on like the scallop, like Batman scallop things. He's got paint on the knuckles, which that looks really, really good. I like those. You get a fist on this side and then like a grippy hand on this side. But like, I just really don't like this teal color, and the yellow doesn't really help neither. I think they should have went with a gold. Like, with a wash over it to match the arms. And then the skin tone is way too similar to the body. I think it definitely needed to be a skin tone darker. And the wash on the head doesn't look the same as the wash on the body. This is a different plastic. This is like harder, more solid, and this is like hollow. Actually, just kind of pop the arm off and just look. It is completely hollow in there. And I mean, that's not the end of the world, but it really makes this guy seem very, very cheap. And like very flimsy and light. I took him out of the box, and most of his weight is in his legs, which is a good thing for standing and things, but I don't know, it just felt very chintzy and cheap when I took him out of the box. Like I said, the detail work is very, very good in the sculpt. No toe articulation, which I'm a little surprised about. Like the sculpt is there. It's just, I think the paint could have been done better. I think a wash and then a dry brush over the teal would have been better. And I just don't, I was never, I like Overtkill as a character, but I was never a huge fan of his design. And this just amplifies all the things about his design I don't like, to be honest. The cybernetics up here, like the paintwork of like the collarbone and like the traps, like they look good. Like that looks cool. There's a little bit on his back. The head looks nice, but like there's barely any wash on the back. The sculpt is there. It's just, I think the wash and the paint is where this thing really falls short. And he's chintzy. Like he feels cheap. As far as articulation, we're just going to go into it. He does not really look up. He's kind of got that lurching forward thing. Down, not so much. Pivot side to side. It's decent. It'll rotate 360. So I think for this, it's okay. Shoulders are going to move upwards, horizontal on both sides. The shoulder pad doesn't really get in the way too much. It's a little bit less, but not too much. And then going down, there's a ball joint on the shoulder pad over here, which is fine. I like that a lot, actually. It really does allow it to go wherever it wants. Like I said, it just doesn't look good, and then I got to make sure I plug that back in there. You're going to rotate 360. No bicep swivel, just a single jointed elbow. And then swivel at the elbow, and then the wrist swivel and hinge with just a regular hinge, so I do like that. The arms definitely move more than Cygor, but not by much. And then they'll rotate as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they look good, but just don't function very nicely. Now you're just going to get a ball joint at the waist. This side's the same thing, even though it's a little bit of a different sculpt. You're going to get a loose-ass ball joint. So, like, I mean, everything's kind of loose on him. He's a little flimsy. He'll pivot very little, swivel very little, crunch and arch a little bit. So you just get a little bit of movement. I don't know. I think it could have been done better. Hips do get the splits. He'll kick forward, back, no thigh cut, maybe no thigh cut, but maybe a little bit of rotation, and then a single jointed knee that swivels, not rotates, which is stupid. It does swivel, single joint that only goes about that much, and then the ankle does not hinge back like at all. That's about as far as it goes. It'll go forward and rock. So honestly, pretty weak articulation as well. He'll get in the poses that you need him to, but like overall, it could have been done a lot better, in my opinion. Same thing about Cygor. Like I said, these deluxe figures, they've been going down in quality. My favorite is definitely Violator. My second favorite's definitely Cygor. And Overtkill is definitely bottom of the barrel when it comes to these releases so far for the Megafigs. As far as Spawn's concerned, sorry, I just whacked the thing. By the way, the camera's probably going to do the weird thing again. But as far as Spawn's concerned, I think the base body and design for this is damn near perfect. There's just one little thing that I would change, and I actually am going to change it. Not in this video. I'll probably do like a separate little short or something on TikTok or something. But he looks really good. I wish the reds were a little bit more vibrant, like just a little bit brighter. But, I mean, overall, I'm not like upset about it. It's just, I wish they were a little bit brighter. And obviously this half cape thing is really fucking stupid, at least in my opinion. Like, I mean, he looks good on the throne, which we'll show in a second, but taking a look at this head sculpt, this is a new head sculpt, I believe. So I'm going to double check when I bring it down, but I think this is a new head sculpt. And even if it's not, it looks comic enough. I don't know what this blue in my nail is, but it looks comic enough for me, and I think it looks awesome. The belt, I'm fairly positive, is definitely new. I really like the Spawn skull. The paint work is different. I think the boot is new. I'm fairly positive the boot is new on this side. Again, we're going to pull it down and do a comparison. I I think the ankle joints are new. I think they're resculpted. A lot of this is reused, which to me is fine. It just has a different paint job. Like I said, there's just one little thing about the paint job that I would change personally, which I am going to. The spikes are all painted on there, which look really, really nice. The chain goes all the way around. It's painted very good, and the back is painted. Now, the cape does come off. There's a little bit of silver on the chain there, which looks very, very nice, and the cape looks great as well. The sculpt is there, and then the body itself looks awesome. I think this is definitely a new upper torso as well, just for the fact of that it has a peg hole and doesn't have the whole big sink thing to put the Mortal Kombat cape spawn or Mortal Kombat cape in. So I really like that. I think it looks aesthetically very pleasing. As far as accessories, obviously the big draw for this is to get the throne. And now the throne itself is huge. Like, it is a very big throne. It's taller than Spawn. Like, just compared to Overtkill, it's like pretty much as tall as him. So that's pretty awesome. And the detail work is insane on this shit. So taking a look at the top, I believe this is like his trap from the alley, like the trash throne. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've read a Spawn books. I used to read them as a kid, but I haven't read any of the new stuff. The skull on the top looks great. I really like all the spikes on there. The skulls, I mean, obviously, if some skilled artist was to take some paint on this and, you know, paint up all the details, it would be insane. There's guns, there's tools, there's bones, tires. I'm seeing like 2 or 3 tires. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna let the sculpt speak for itself. There's not a lot of paint. The skulls are painted briefly, I guess. Pouches. This is the little piece of his cape. It does come out. It'll leave 2 holes. This one you don't really see too much, but this one is a little bit more gaping. But if you have him sitting in there, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm going to plug it back in there just so I don't lose it. But is it going back in? No, it is not. Why is it not? But yeah, I think the sculpt is just phenomenal. Like, there's paint and it's hollow, but it's still heavy. Like, this weighs more than Overtkill. Like, what the fuck, man? And then the back with this like spine thing looks awesome. There's just so much detail. Just let the sculpt speak for itself and shut the fuck up, and I will. So looks great. There's just a little bit of assembly in the package. This piece is separate. You just plug that in. And speaking of assembly, you can like take this apart. Like, it's like 2 pieces. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it is just like 2 pieces or a couple actually. So I don't know what you would want to do with that, but it's like pieces together. I don't know if that was for assembly or something in the factory. I didn't even know that until I got it out of the box, so it is hidden very nicely, but it is something that you will, when like you get it out. If that's something that you want to do, it's something that you should be able to. As far as articulation for the Spawn, it is awesome. So the head, I say that, but the head doesn't look up too much down. You will get side to side, and then it will pivot all around. So I think that's great. The shoulders work fantastic. The ball joint actually does something, or the butterfly joint, I mean. Shoulder goes up, down, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then the wrist swivel and hinge, you know, like they do. But the torso, he can actually crunch like really far. So for McFarlane anyway, crunches forward and back, side to side, pivot at the top and the bottom. So that is beautiful movement there. Beautiful, beautiful, well done. Splits, a little bit of a thigh rotation, enough, but, you know, an actual cut would be good. Double jointed knees, and then the ankle moves down and not up on this side, but it'll pivot in there, and toe joint, which the pivot really won't do anything because, you know, big Spawn boot. And then this side, the ankle goes up, down, pivots, and toe joint as well. So beautifully articulated on this guy. You can really get him to do what you need him to, as far as posing goes. And with the big boot, it really does help. At least for me, it does. I know it probably will get in your way of certain things, but honestly, I think it's a really good added feature. Now it's time to do the thing that we've all been waiting for. It's time to compare the 2 Spawns. And as I was comparing them, I think this is a completely new figure. Because if you look, I thought the hands were reused. They're not, or at least that side's not. I don't think that side is neither. The bodies are not reused. Like, this is a lot softer, I guess. This one's got more striations in it. The heads are definitely different. The top torso is different. The body's different. The belt is different. The bands on the side, let me get the gun out of his hand. These straps on the side are different. The boot is different. Like I said, the feet are different. I think this is a completely re-sculpted figure, which I was not surprising. I mean, or which was super surprising. Which I shouldn't be surprised because it's McFarlane, and you know, if they're good at one thing, it's giving us original sculpts. But yeah, no, this is completely a new sculpt on this guy, which is incredible. Like the spike is different. It's awesome. That is so awesome. Like, I didn't even realize that. So now it justifies having both if you want all different versions of Spawn, which, if you're me, you do. So that is super awesome. I really did not know. I like the proportions on this guy a little bit more. His shoulders are bigger. His chest is bigger. And he's, like, got the brighter white. That is really awesome. Like, I cannot believe that is completely different sculpt. But then again, I shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, it's McFarlane, and they've been improving with their sculpts. I mean, just like the ankle, like it's not just a ball anymore. It's an actual sculpted piece to look like an ankle. So super, super awesome there. If you want to put the Mortal Kombat one in the throne, it's not really going to work. You'd have to like kind of like pose him oddly. Like you could kind of like do it like that, which is totally an option. I think if you want to put them like that, you can do that. It actually doesn't look too bad. I'm like looking at it, it actually doesn't look too bad. Because you could take this piece out, remember, so that's pretty cool actually. But as far as getting the actual Spawn that it comes with in there, you know, you're gonna want to put the cape on, plug that in the back, just gotta line it up, plug it in. Get him in a nice little seated position. This is why I think a thigh rotation, like an actual cut, would have been really nice. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. And then you can have him sitting in there like the badass that he is. I tend to have him lean toward this side so it covers up the gap of the cape a little bit. But that looks super badass. So I'm very happy about that. I'm not going to have him in there. Personally, I might put him in there. I actually liked the way that looked. But we'll see. But as far as him in there, yeah, that's Spawn. That looks sick. As far as size comparisons go, obviously here he is next to the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn. Here they are next to a DC Multiverse Batman. So Overtkill is definitely huge. Like, he's a big guy. And then next to a Marvel Legend zombie type characters, there he is next to Cap. So, I mean, obviously they're 7-inch scale, so they're going to be bigger. But I think these look really good with each other. I mean, Overtkill, he's huge. Like, he's a big figure. It's just, like I said, I don't know if it's completely worth the price point with the quality of the figure, I guess, so to speak. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. So I know this is the point of the video where I know you guys are asking yourself, yo, Ant, what are you thinking of these figs? And I gotta say, they're pretty awesome. But they are a lot left to be desired. More so in Overkill's case, I'm actually really happy with this Spawn. This Spawn is fucking awesome. It's almost the Spawn I've always wanted. There are two things that I want to change, and I will. Custom cape, maybe on the way, but I do want to do a little bit of paint work on him, and, you know, I'll do a separate video on that, like I said at the beginning of the video. But as far as Overtkill, fuck yeah, he is not very good. I gotta be honest with you. I wanted to mislead you there. I just can't get over the teal color. I think the color palette's really ugly on him. The articulation's pretty weak. The cheapness of him, the lack of paint, I don't know. I can't sit here and comfortably say that he is worth $50. Maybe 30. Not 50. So let me know what you guys think about that. If I was good at these guys are rating, Spawn's getting an 8 out of 10. Very close up there. He will be an 11 out of 10 when I'm done with them. As far as Overtkill, I can't give him higher than like a 5. He's pretty low on the list. He might be one of the worst figures of the year so far, unfortunately. But I digress. So let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Do yourself that favor, and me. You know you're going to want to. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I do post a lot on there. I have a lot of fun over there, so I'm sure you guys will too. But I believe that's all I got. So as always, I leave you guys with the burning question. You coppin'? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.